What's up, everybody? Good morning. Chris Onorato, Ashley Miller, little Onorato and Company rapid reaction brought to you by KPM Restoration. Our buddy Jamie Kennedy making sure that no matter what happens, a fire, a flood, they will get you back to normal as quickly as possible. They'll deal with the insurance companies, which is always a headache too, a lot of times for homeowners and business owners. So our thanks to KPM Restoration and this rapid reaction coming off game one of a Subway series, 2 games.
Yep.
Weird. They'll play 2 more at the end of August. And Jimmer Fredette and the money team continue on in the basketball tournament. We are reacting to those 2 things and more right here on News Channel 13's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
This Onorato and Company rapid reaction is presented by KPM Restoration.
All right, Ash, here we go. We saw a little bit of the baseball game last night. We saw Jimmer and Company getting things done out in Dayton, Ohio. They'll now play in the regional final of the basketball tournament. That's that $1 million winner-take-all tournament that is now in its 9th summer,
Crazy.
I believe.
Yeah.
It has gone on as it has and continues to succeed. It's really cool. I like that it gives guys an opportunity to continue to play. And that is Jimmer back on U.S. ground playing competitive, meaningful basketball since the 2018-19 NBA season with the Phoenix Suns. So really cool. He had 21 points last night. I guess I'll start there because I'm already halfway down the road of talking about what happened in Dayton last night, and we'll get to the Yankees and the Mets in a moment. But Jimmer scores 21 points. His team advances to the regional final in Dayton, Ohio, and we will talk with Dan Dockich, who is doing color commentary, analyst work for that particular TBT region. And that interview will come up on Onorato and Company tomorrow morning. That's Thursday morning.
Yeah, listen, they're the number 1 seed, and we talked about this because they have a guy named Jimmer Fredette on their team. I mean, we saw last night, Trevor Booker is a good player. He's a former pro. But anytime you get the name Jimmer Fredette, people start to buzz because of everything that he's done in the past, his run at BYU. His name makes people excited. So they're the number 1 team. They've had 2 really tough tests to start this tournament. So we'll see if they can come through tonight and win the region and then move on. But it's fun to see him playing again. Even when he doesn't play well, and I think he would tell you maybe neither game did he play his best or all that well. Anytime you have Jimmer on your team on the court, you have a chance to win a game, even at 33 years old. So the money team will be have as good a chance as anybody else, but it's fun to see him out there having fun. And even the younger guys, I think, appreciate and just enjoy watching Jimmer. Every time he shoots, you see the whole bench stand up, and he hit the game winner last night, and people were super pumped about it. Not that it was all that close, but he hit what ended the game.
Yeah, exactly. Right. If you're unfamiliar with the basketball tournament, it's like driveway rules.
Right.
You play to a certain score. I won't go through all the details. A target score is created at some point late in the game, and it's like you're playing to 21 in the driveway. They were playing to 91 last night, and Jimmer hits a 3. They only needed 2, but he was wide open from downtown. Go ahead and shoot it. He was 5 of 13 from 3 on Tuesday night. And shot it. So he shot it a little bit better than game 1. So maybe he's just, I didn't play in China for a year and a half because of COVID. So maybe taking him a little bit of time here to get back into those competitive flows of the game.
Yep. And he was 4 of 12 the game before. So in terms of 3-point shooting, and that's kind of what he does. He can get to the bucket, but we've seen it a lot. He tends to drive and kick when he does get, unless it's wide open. And that's everyone on the team last night. You were like, hey, nobody wants to take an open lane to the basket. They all want to drive and kick. If you're Jimmer, you like that because you're the guy who's generally standing out on the 3-point line waiting for that kick. So that was pretty cool.
Jeff is watching. He's a Glens Falls guy. He knows about Jimmer. Still got it. Lou says go Jimmer and crew. What is our guy Billy Blake saying here? What's up, Billy?
I don't know.
He's saying something here. Explain yourself. That's an explain yourself moment right there from our guy Billy. And Billy, by the way, I wish I got his comment in last week's show. Remember, I was talking all about Arrogate and who the heck was the
Oh, he probably came up with the horse. Yeah,
he did. American Freedom, I think, is right.
Yeah.
American Pharaoh, I think it was American Freedom. I
Okay.
think that's right. American Freedom. Billy always knows that for sure. All right. So the regional final is Wednesday night. If you watch the game on ESPN2, I believe, 7:00 tip, you'll hear Dan Dockich. We're going to talk with him on Thursdays, Onorato and Company. So come hang out with us. We'll be live from Saratoga Racecourse for a really cool fundraising event that winemaker Joseph Carr will be back in town for, and we'll be up there at the Paddock Suite at Saratoga Racecourse for that really cool event that is raising money for the Saratoga Springs Fire Department. Really
You can possibly enjoy the wine because you will be post-work at that point. I will be pre-work. No fun for me.
So I'll have to buy some wine, support the cause, and bring it home.
Bring it home. Right. Please.
All right. So let's do it. Let's do it here, Jim, or take care of business on this Wednesday night, and at least get into the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Oh, the entire tournament after this will take place in Dayton. They won't have to travel, which is
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mets take game 1 of the Subway Series, 2-game set at Citi Field. They'll play 2 in the Bronx at the end of August. It was a 6-3 win for the Mets. Go ahead. What do you got, Billy?
Billy was answering back to Jeff.
Oh,
so he wasn't even talking to us. So Jeff, let Jeff know. Jeff, go to 2 Little Birds for breakfast in Rockport, Mass.
I get it. Okay. Because Jeff said, hey, good morning from Rockport. And Billy said, get to 2. See, we don't like to be left out of the conversation.
I know.
Okay, people? We need to be part of it.
I hope he gets there. Our show will be helping others to get to good breakfast spots.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell them Onorato and Company sent you, and they'll look at you like.
That was like, we don't know who that is.
Yeah. So the Yankees went back-to-back in the top of the first. Judge hits number 38, and then Anthony Rizzo went deep as well. All of a sudden, it's 2-0. And I think to myself, this is going to be a long night for Taijuan Walker.
Listen,
and the Yankees bats have come.
This was me. But to be fair, anytime I've watched the Yankees score runs in the first inning, it's always a long game because they end up making it a game. And in this case, they don't only make it a game, they lose it.
Yeah. The Mets responded in the bottom of the first with 4 against Jordan Montgomery, and they ended up winning 6-3. So I don't know. Do you care? How much do you read into this stuff? Are you concerned with how the Yankees are playing so far out of the All-Star break, having struggled a little bit against Houston and Baltimore, and now you lose to the Mets? Is this setting off any alarm bells at all as a Yankees fan?
Yes and no. I'm good with the fact that, listen, I had talked about potentially the All-Star break being bad for Aaron Judge. Clearly that hasn't happened. What I don't love is that the pitching hasn't been great. Jordan Montgomery has struggled in his last 3 starts against the Mets. He's not been good. And I laugh because when Aaron Boone, I almost called him Aaron Judge. When Aaron Boone comes to get him, you can see him mouth, why? Well, why? Because you were terrible. You didn't pitch well. You've given up 5 runs. You haven't been good. It's time to go. We've got a bullpen loaded with people that can then play. And so I'm a little bit worried about the starting pitching. Billy did mention in one of his comments, you can't trust anyone but Cole. And to be honest with you, I don't know that you can always trust Cole either. So we get Domingo Germán back tonight. We'll see what kind of shape he's in, how he looks. I think a healthy Domingo Germán could be important. Obviously, it fills a gap. I'm not worried because I think the offense will be fine. But yeah, the starting pitching is a little bit concerning. But losing to the Mets doesn't worry me. The Mets are a good team. Now you're going out there against Scherzer tonight. There's a good chance you lose again.
So and this is where I get with, like, that was a game that if I'm the Yankees, I feel like I need, because I know Scherzer is looming in game 2, and it isn't Cole Scherzer, which I really wish it was.
Yeah.
So now I look back on it and I think, boy, that's one I really would have liked to have had. Now, having said that, watch, they'll go score 4 runs against Max Scherzer and find a way to win tonight. But I just don't like being in the position of needing to beat Max Scherzer to not get swept, albeit
Right.
a 2-game sweep.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it is, okay, it's 2 games. It's no big deal. The division lead is still big. I think everyone is just kind of using this. To be honest with you, though, I think everyone is using this more as a barometer game for the Mets than the Yankees. Like, I think it's like, oh, hey, can the Mets beat the Yankees because the Yankees are so good? Are the Mets really this good? Well, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe they get both. But until they sweep the next 2 games that they play after that, like, I'm not worried. But you got Oakland out there beating the Houston Astros. So things are a little bit confusing to me. The Baltimore Orioles are playing well. They're no longer last in the division. So there are some teams rearing their heads that are a little bit foreign or playing well that are a little bit foreign to at least recent seasons. So I'm not worried, but there are some concerns for this team.
Okay. Those numbers would be concerning. It is just 1 game, of course. 2 of the 3 runs come on solo home runs in the first inning. So again, not run producing. And for me, this is what I've said about this lineup for 4 years, 5 years now, is they don't find ways to make productive outs.
But this year has felt different.
No doubt. I'm not.
Right. We saw those numbers a lot last year. We haven't seen them much this year.
True. But I have continued to say, show me in October.
Yep.
Because
No, and I have to.
The lineup looks the same as it has the last few years. And I'm going to go into October and I'm going to think, can they beat the Astros? Can they get a guy in from third with fewer than 2 outs without hitting a home run?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. And it's still late July. I get it. But we are quickly approaching the trade deadline. And so the wheels kind of start spinning here. If you're the Yankees, are you going after a starter? Do you feel like you need a closer because of Chapman's struggles, or are you ready to roll with it's Holmes who's in that spot now? I don't know, that some things to be talked about there, I think, for the Yankees and the Mets too. We've discussed that on previous shows, the Mets in particular.
Yeah, and the bullpen has been a strength of the Yankees this season, but you lose a guy like Michael King, who had been a hugely important piece of that bullpen. And now he's done for the year. And now you're kind of feeling like you bring in a guy like Shane Green. Shane Green is the only guy on that team to have played baseball with Derek Jeter, which means he's old. Or older than everyone else.
And that was a one and done. Green gave up a home. They cut him the next day.
That
was quick for Shane Green.
Yeah, so now you're kind of trying to fill the gap that Michael King left. And can you do that? Aroldis Chapman is a former closer who clearly has the ability, but you get a guy like Clay Holmes he's an all-star. He's proven that he's been good enough. He had one pretty bad game earlier this season where I think he gave up a 4-run lead or a 5-run lead. But that was rare for him. So I think now it's a matter of kind of figuring out, we talked about injuries, they happen. Are they going to affect this team in a negative way? On the other hand, Edwin Diaz, who is a guy that, like Aroldis Chapman, is here. It's a roller coaster ride. He's the best closer in the game right now. I mean, he is shut down. There is no doubt about it. He pitched an inning and a third last night, 4 strikeouts. That's as good as you can do.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal this year, and I've wondered whether or not the Mets could really win big with him as their closer. Yep. All right, that's it for us here on Onorato and Company. Little rapid reaction brought to you by KPM Restoration, something we do each and every single week. Join us tomorrow on Thursday, live from Saratoga Racecourse for the cool fundraiser with winemaker Joseph Carr and basketball analyst Dan Dockich on the TBT. Ash, back to your day off.
Yeah, my day off. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.